Hello and welcome to This One Thing, a daily video devotional coming to you from First Presbyterian Church of Fort Lauderdale. My name is Nick Merchant. I'm one of the associate pastors here. And each day, one of our pastors or staff members are going to be looking at one of the texts in the Revised Common Lectionary's daily readings, and we'll be pulling out one thing for you to consider. We hope that you find this an encouraging and thought-provoking part of your day. Enjoy. In Greenville, South Carolina, just across from Falls Park on the Reedy River, there is a bench. And on that bench, there's the figure of a man who is looking off into the distance as though a thought is just beginning to form in his mind. And it's a statue of the late scientist and physicist Charles Townes, who was born in Greenville, South Carolina. And it was on a similar bench in the spring of 1951 where Townes sat overlooking a garden of azaleas when he had a sudden spark of inspiration. And Townes wrote down a few equations on the back of an envelope, and he stuck that envelope in his pocket. And those equations would come to form the foundation for the invention of laser technology. A laser technology which now permeates all areas of our lives, from grocery store scanners to eye surgery. He would go on to win the Nobel Prize among a number of other achievements in his lifetime. Now, Townes was a man of faith, and he likened this moment of discovery to a spiritual experience, this revelation to a meeting with the divine. This moment that happened on a quiet spring day, sitting out on a park bench. How do you prepare to meet the divine? How do you create the space to listen for the voice of God? We continue today in the book of Exodus, and we're in chapter 7 now. And the stories in Exodus, the book of Exodus, can be a difficult book for us to read. It's full of magic and miracles, of parting seas and of rivers turned to blood. And I think that we can get bogged down asking questions about how is that really possible, or did it really happen exactly like this? And I think it's a great conversation actually to have, but it's a bigger topic than just these few minutes. But I'll offer this quote by Pete Enns, who is a biblical scholar and theologian, and he says this about the book of Exodus, and that is, let the story take you where it wants to take you. That is, don't get so bogged down in these details that we fail to miss what the writer is really trying to communicate here. And so here in chapter 7, where we are picking up today, we see Moses and Aaron, and they're in front of Pharaoh, and they're beginning to perform these signs and asking Pharaoh to let the people of Israel go. And so they have turned the Nile River into blood. And we read that all of the fish in the Nile die, that there's this terrible smell, and that the Egyptians are no longer able to drink the water. And in spite of all of that, and all of the subsequent plagues that are visited upon the Egyptian people, Pharaoh doesn't listen. And I want to read this verse to you today. It's in verse 23. We read that Pharaoh turned and he went into his house, and he did not take even this to heart. Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and he did not even take this to heart. I want to be really careful here. I am not beginning to say that God has sent coronavirus to us, or any of the accompanying difficulties, financial struggles, health issues, the social isolation. But here's the one thing, is that I do believe that God can speak to us through it. The question, I think, is, will we listen? Will we listen, or will we turn and walk away and take nothing to heart? So will you, in the days and weeks ahead, will you prepare for divine inspiration? Will you prepare for meeting the divine? Will you ask the question, God, in all of this, what can you show me? And God, what do you want me to do about it? Friends, be safe, be well, and we'll see you tomorrow.